All right, are we live? Are we in? Is this working? Is this thing on? Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Andy Zhu, host of Gen Z Rebuilds. In case you haven't been here before, I really appreciate you all stopping by. I talk about real estate, talk about finance, talk about cryptocurrency, all in service of trying to work towards the future, right? We're about rebuilding the future. It's old Dennis Risponi. How you doing, Dennis? We're rebuilding the future, trying to get, your situation in a better place. So that's why we're here to talk about money, and that's why I'm glad you all are joining him. And we have here one of my greatest friends here in the chat, Dennis Risponi. Old Dennis, I appreciate you stopping by. How you doing, Dennis? What is going on with you? What is new? I'm sure you've got a stock for me to look at. And I haven't. I know you sent me a couple last week, but I haven't gotten a chance to look at them yet. I know it's because I keep coming on a little bit late to my lives here. Mostly because I'm stuck really busy with my work. But I appreciate everyone stopping by. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to start talking about whatever I think. Dennis, you're doing good. Good for you, Dennis. I'm glad. I'm just going to start talking about, we had another bad day in the stock market today, right? We had an awful day in the stock market today. A lot of stocks sold off today. And not only did tech stocks fall off, which has been typical, but also the value or cyclical stocks sold off as well. Isn't that weird? Because over the past few days, over the past few weeks, you guys have been talking. Sid Call wants to talk about AMC. You're famous because of you, Dennis? Yeah. Trying to shout you out. I reward those who reward me, right? You're always here trying to keep you keep you in the loop, Dennis. So we can talk about AMC in just a second, Sid One Call, but I wanted to touch on briefly the overall stock market picture, what has been happening today, because over the past few weeks, we have typically been seeing as 10-year treasury yields fall, tech stocks rise, and as 10-year treasury yields rise, tech stocks fall. Well, actually, yesterday we had a very strange day, because essentially everything fell. 10-year treasury yields fell, tech stocks fell, and what is called cyclical or value stocks fell as well. Hello, brothers, David Lee. Nice to see you, David Lee. You always call me brother. That's I know, I remember your catchphrase. You always say that every single time. So I appreciate you stopping by. But that's something weird, right? That's something really strange that has happened today in the stock market. Usually, these things trade opposite each other. Because as tech stocks sell off, people usually tend to buy value stocks. Value stocks being stocks or cyclical stocks, being stocks that do well when the economy is doing well, right? And do poorly when the economy is doing poorly. Think about when the economy is doing well, people have more discretionary income. They can go spend more on luxuries and that type of stuff. So you think about your cruise lines and your airlines and that kind of stuff. When people have more money to go travel and go on vacation, those are the types of stocks that we talk about when it's cyclical. Typically, Bronx Boyas. Hello, Bronx Boyas. Nice to see you, my friend. I appreciate you stopping by. So typically, when tech stocks have been selling off, it's because people are buying cyclical stocks and they go up. But they have been today, they all went down. Everything went down. Vibecat is my life. What's up? And how do I feel about Afria? We can touch on Afria in just a second. And we're also going to touch on AMC in just a second too, because one of my friends here, Sid Call, asked about AMC. But I just do want to finish this point here, is that, as I've been saying, we are trading sideways. We have been trading very, very, very sideways over the last month. I've been saying we're going to trade sideways over the last month. So here you go. That's a pretty good call on my part. Thank you. I'm very smart, obviously. No, it's I'm lucky, right? But I'm lucky because I've been looking at the data and all the data, and what has the data been telling me? What has usually been going on? These 10-year treasury yields are rising. People are scared of inflation, and so until we reach a point where we have a stabilization point in the market. And this is not going to happen until 10-year treasury yields stop going up and down, 100 basis points every single day. And that's not going to happen for a while, for another couple of months. And that's when we're going to look at starting to have a new breakout in gains. So as I've been saying before, we're going to be continuing to go sideways. Yesterday was a big down day. Tomorrow's going to probably be a big up day. It's up and down and up and down. So it's right now in the market, we're not seeing a lot of gains, right? Crypto too, Priscilla. Yeah, crypto went big down. Big down. Went the big down. I'm very, very smart. Money go down. It's been better. It's been difficult there. And someone asked, Vibecat is my life. Is it better to buy stocks when they're going down? Yes and no. So let me touch on that briefly before I touch on AMC and Afria real quick. briefly, you asked, is it better to buy stocks when it's going down? And so the question is, slow trolling, sup yo, nice to see you, slow trolling. When you are believing in a stock, in a company for the long term, you want to buy it when it's going down. Actually, you do want to buy it when it's going down, when the price is lower, right? Because as you know, how do you make money in stocks? You buy low and sell high. It's Christmas in the stock market, because it says Craze 2008. Yeah, well, maybe that's a relevant username, Craze 2008, because it might be a crazy 2008 level experience that we're having, or at least the only good buying opportunity. So as these stocks go down, if you believe in this company for the long term, that's when you want to buy. You want to buy low and sell high. So actually, every time the stock goes down, actually, that's better for you, because you can go in and buy more money. Sailor Karaoke, thank you, my friend. But if you're on a momentum play, right? If you're on a momentum play, a meme stock play, you do not want to buy when it's going down. And when it's day trading, you usually don't want to buy when it's going down. Usually, if you're doing momentum or day trading, you want to be one of the first people when it's breaking above the upswing trend, right? And it's usually when it's also oversold and it's breaking above a trend, and so you have an opportunity to buy in when other people are not making the smart decision. But so that's very different scenarios, and it's a lot harder, obviously, to time that. How do you know it's going to be on a sustained uptrend for that? But in terms of long-term investing, which I encourage most people to be doing, right? Craze 2008 long-term plays, the bet, as these stocks are going down, they're going to start to become more and more attractive. And especially before, as I've said, right? 10-year treasury yields may be going up, which is causing downward pressure on tech stocks. But guess what? Also, we also have a good economy. A lot of stocks are selling off because the 10-year treasury yields and inflation risks are rising. We're also it's because they think we're going to have such a good economy. Party Mama says, hi, Andy. Hello, Party Mama. It's because we think we're going to have such a good economy, right? And because we're going to have such a good economy, actually, that's going to help tech stocks too, because people have been talking about, these stocks are overvalued, right? If these stocks are overvalued, it's because usually the price to earnings ratio is too high. Well, look what we're having. We're having a decompression of the price. The price is going down, but actually the economy is going to be doing better. Earnings are going to be going up for everybody, not just the value and cyclical stocks, but for everyone, right? So that's what's happening there and probably going to happen. So I do not necessarily think that is a terrible time. I do right now, because I do believe that over the long run, and I've said this a couple times on this channel here, that yes, our assets are inflated. Definitely, we're likely in a bubble, but I don't see a reason why this bubble is going to be popping anytime soon, right? And a bubble is only a problem when the bubble pops. As much as it hurts to say that, right? A bubble is only a bubble when a problem when it pops, right? And if it keeps expanding, right, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, we've probably been in a bubble for the past 3 or 4 years, but it's gone up and up and up anyway, regardless. Like, we hit the bottom of Corona, and then we're way higher than we even were before Corona, right? And is our economy actually stronger than it was before Corona right now, today? No, absolutely not. It is not. But we have more free money into the market, and we've entered a new, essentially, interest rate and inflation paradigm, right? And so as these things start to change, interest rates and 10-year treasury yields and all these things start to fluctuate. That's why we've been seeing such high volatility. Well, you have to go. Nice stream, dude. Thank you, Vibecat is my life. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully I could answer a couple of your questions. I know you had another one there, but I didn't get to. But I'll talk to you soon, Vibecat. What's a safe way to bet against the markets, the Sailor J? Let me try to get back to that. Someone asked really quickly about AMC. So I do want to, value the people who ask the comments first, right? So someone asked about AMC. I've talked about AMC a few times in terms of the long-term trend, and I assume, unless something weird happened, that AMC fell big today, because GameStop fell big today. So I would assume, yeah, it looks like AMC fell big today. And y'all, unfortunately, I think AMC is a dying meme at this point, right? And we have to remember, when everyone's looking at these stocks and you hear about it from your friends and you hear about it on the internet and you say, yo, you should buy XYZ, you should buy this stock, you should buy that stock. Usually the reason why is because it has some sort of what is called meme or momentum energy behind it, right? There's a group of people online who are pushing it. And a lot of the reason why these stocks go up suddenly a lot, right? A lot of these reason these stocks will go up a lot is because of meme and momentum energy. Just stopping by to say, thinking of you, smoke first. Oh, thinking of you, baby. Always, always. Much love to you. You're still holding AMC, Natalie, 26, Natalie. Well, hopefully you're in the green. You're hopefully in the green. Pezzy Sue says, hi, live in 5X Life. AMC open all of its locations, so hold. So, live in 5X Life. I want to say a couple things to that. So, hopefully you're in the green, and I hope you're doing well in AMC, right? And if you are buying into AMC for the meme energy because it's people surrounding it and you're buying for the community, that's one thing, right? You're not in the green, Natalie? Oh, no. But as I've been saying before, I was saying this a couple weeks ago, y'all. When AMC hit 14 bucks, I was saying, y'all, please take your profits. Please take your profits because meme and momentum energy is super powerful, and that is what pushed AMC super high. It was that plus the fact that California announced that they were going to open all the movie theaters, right? And so people were like, oh my gosh, AMC is saved. Let's rush all the money into there. But guess what? When the stock goes up, $3, $4, $5, when it started at $7, $8, right? It almost doubles its stock value in a week. It's not because the fundamental economies of AMC are actually double in a week, right? Opening the stores in California, opening the movie theaters in California to 25% capacity or whatever they had is not going to all of a sudden turn the entire economy of AMC around. Andy is the man. Oh, you're the man, Ant 2388. You're the man. Or gal. I'm not sure. You're an ant. But is that Anthony, maybe? Anyway, AMC's fortunes are not going to have been turned around, and it was purely, you have to understand, a meme and momentum energy play. So when it goes up that much, the best advice to you when you're in these meme and momentum stocks, which AMC was, surrounded by a community that's pushing it, don't be greedy. Take your profits when you can. Because we've seen a big downtrend. It hit 14 bucks or so a couple weeks ago. Now it's down to 9. I'm afraid it's going to continue to fall. I mean, you guys saw GameStop. GameStop managed to sustain itself. Ah, yes, Anthony. Perfect. Context clues. GameStop managed to sustain itself at 200 bucks for like a week or so. Like, very good props to them. But then today, especially because of the GameStop news about their earnings report, they fell. They cratered another 60, 70 bucks. They went from like 180 to 120. Fell really hard. Justin Phillips sold at 13.25. Good for you, Justin Phillips. Yeah, that's what I was saying to y'all last week. Take your profits because long run for AMC, you have to understand that AMC was a profit-losing company before Corona. They were not making money before Corona. So even if all theaters opened at 100% max capacity today, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news is true. Rick Tuar, San Antonio, absolutely. Buy the rumor, sell the news is absolutely true. And I've talked to people about that, about CCIV here before, about Afri and Tilray here before, right? People made money on the rumor. Then once the real news came out, and people were all talking about that from a month ago. And I keep bringing these up because they're good lessons to learn. What? CCIV fell from 60 to 20, right? Afria was really high, I think 30 something, and fell to like 20 something, right? And that's not as much. But these things can happen. These big pops can happen, right? You didn't buy in for the payday, Natalie. Didn't contribute your life savings. Good. Well, if you're holding, I would say you can hold in there. And thank you for the disco ball, trying to do some dance moves for you all. So here's the thing with something like AMC. So for the long run, in terms of the fundamental of the company, Rick Tuar, thank you, San Antonio, Mr. Man. For the fundamentals of the company, they were an unprofitable company before Corona. So even if they opened today, right, every single location, and we're at 100% capacity, they would still be unprofitable. And they have headwinds of people not going to movie theaters for a year and having to change their behavior. The second headwind of they don't have as much distribution. as before, right? Used to be if you wanted to go see a brand new movie, you had to go into the movie theaters, and now you have to sit at home. Or now you can watch brand new movies at home, is what I'm trying to say. Like Mulan and Raya and the Last Dragon and Trolls War Tour and all these different movies go straight to the streaming services where they're launched, right? Because all these media companies now have streaming services. Now they have their streaming services. So that's what's going on with all of these companies. Like, movie theaters do no longer have a dominating control over distribution rights for movies. So those are like those two headwinds alone. The fact that even if they were open today at 100% capacity, they would still be losing money. Plus, there's they don't have as much distribution rights, so there's going to be necessarily less people going in. AMC is going to find a very, very hard time becoming profitable. First time listener here, very great and knowledgeable. Oh, thank you, Rusty Hook. Always good to see new friends in the chat. So that's the problem with AMC, right? And so if you're let's say this though. If you're in the red on AMC, I wouldn't sell out, right? I wouldn't sell out. And here's the reason why. It is a meme stock. It is a meme stock, and you can be bailed out because people will probably push it again at some point in time. And this is not on every single meme stock. Please do not apply this knowledge to every single meme stock. But from what I've learned from GameStop being pumped that one time, and then it had its secondary pump, and AMC also, along with the ride, had the secondary pump, right? That's what's going to, it's going to be revived at some point. Like, people are going to band together, AMC is going to make some sort of announcement that, just like what Kim Belicious said here, they're gonna drop prices and show old movies, or that they're looking to partner with Netflix or something. They're gonna make one piece of news announcement. AMC is gonna spike again, right? That's your chance. That's your chance if you're in the red to get out, right? And as I said before, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Justin Phillips, people betting on a short squeeze. The squeeze has mostly been squoze, my friend. Justin Phillips, the squeeze has mostly been squoze. So most of these short interest positions against GameStop, against AMC, against all these other companies that were mega shorted in January, at the end of January, the majority of those shorts are gone. A lot of those shorts are gone. So we're not looking for a new squeeze. This is a pure momentum, pump and dump action, right? Meme energy action to the moon, rocket ship emoji, let's get it, that's what has been driving these stocks. And people can make a lot of money on that. But it's dangerous if you're not like the guy on Reddit, on the Discord chat, who's like tapped into all their phones and their headset and being like, yo bro, did you see here what the latest stock is to buy? Like, that's what you need to be if you want to be at the head of the game, at the head of all the momentum plays, to make sure you're ahead of everybody else. But my moral of the story is, I'm trying to say that if you're in the red on GME, I wouldn't sell out. On AMC. You got out AMC, you got out of it at $14 once a via. You sold at the peak. Good for you, my friend. Good to see you. EIQSS, it's disturbing to the hedge fund manipulation. Yes, look, EIQSS, the hedge funds manipulate everything. That's the thing to understand about this market. And there's a couple things that people don't realize about the stock market. When they first start to try investing, they're like, oh, it's about learning about the fundamentals of the economy. And 2388, what about AMC giving $900 million from investors? You don't think it'll bounce back? Yes, that's definitely going to help their economies of scale. I'm just saying that, and especially since they refinanced that debt, you're absolutely right. But it's still going to be difficult. They have a new lifeline, a new lease on life, but it's still, they have to do way more plays than right now to get themselves ahead, right? And until they have really elucidated those points and proven to me, right, and proven to all of you all that they're going to do something different from just showing movies in the theaters. Because showing movies in the theaters is not going to get them profitable again. It didn't get them profitable before, and now we have way more people watching streaming, right? And they don't have as much control over the movies. It's not going to get them profitable now. They have to do something different, AMC, if they want to succeed. So talking about that hedge fund manipulation and WSB is fighting, it is a great thing. It's a great thing. So I want to. Here's the thing that people don't realize about the stock market before they get into it. Number one, the stock market is not rational. You look at all those numbers, right? You look at all those numbers and prices going up and down, and all these tickers and all these graphs and all this stuff. You're like, oh my gosh. This must be the most scientific. Everybody knows the price of everything. Everything makes sense. It's all, super analyzed. No, a lot of it is emotional bull, right? BS. Because guess what? Who invests the money? Who is in charge of the money? Human beings. Human beings who are not rational beings, who make decisions based off emotions all the time, who's gonna YOLO buy into a stock because YOLO ride the wave. Look. And people can buy into stocks for any number of reasons. I bought 2 shares. Look, I'm a holder of GameStop at 380. Y'all, I'm talking about you, trying to encourage you not to lose your money. I bought GameStop at 380. I bought 2 shares. Not because I wanted to make any money on it, but literally I'm like, I'm going to buy at the peak and I just want to be part of the movement. And so like later on I can tell my kids I fought in the war. I fought in the trenches against the hedge funds back in the day, and I'm going to send those I'm going to hold those shares for 70 years or until GameStop closes or whatever, when I die, and then pass them on. That's going to be my greatest and best legacy. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that people can buy stocks for any number of reasons, right? Literally just for the meme value, like I did. And when you have enough people buying stocks for meme value or buying emotions or because of fear of missing out, then you learn that the stock market is very irrational, right? And crazy, and sometimes doesn't make sense. It's mostly based on rumors, party mama. Absolutely. You've been picking up what we're learning here, right? It's not always fact, and it's not always based on the actual state of the economy. It's based on what people think the economy might be, their feelings. And when I say people, I mostly mean really rich people. And that's why what Wall Street Bets was doing was so cool. Because this was not a bunch of super rich hedge fund billionaire people manipulating the market. And that's my second point, is that most of the market action is controlled by those guys. What you are doing, and the reason why I try to learn and try to teach people about bond yields and all this other stuff, treasury stuff, and what is the federal funds rate, and what is the secured overnight funds rate, SOFR, and what all these things are. The reason why I talk about them and they're boring and you don't really need to, and it's never going to affect you directly in your day-to-day life, is because this is what the rich guys think about. It's what the trillionaires and the billionaires think about. And when they make decisions, they move the whole market. So we're kind of at their mercy, right? And so that's the second thing about the stock market. It's they can essentially do whatever they want because they own all the money, they have all the money, and then they control a lot of the stuff. So, and that's not to discourage you from getting into stocks or getting into investing, because those guys are always going to control 99% of the action. Unfortunately, and I don't want to say always. That's the beauty of what Wall Street Bets was doing, right? But they're a lot of the time they're going to control that, right? A lot of the time they're going to control that. So because of that, you're going to have to, when you're investing in the market, you have to understand. It's you're always kind of at the whims of what these guys on top want. So it's important to know how they think, right? You got to study thy enemy, know thy enemy, to learn what they do and predict things around it, right? And this is why I'm big on crypto here in this channel, because a lot of the big guys, the big tech institutional guys with all the billionaires and all the trillionaires, and they're all old, 100 billion years old. They don't understand technology. They're not forward thinking, right? They don't understand cryptocurrency at all. That's leaving a huge opportunity for us to learn about it, for people who are more nimble and to the ground, to get ahead of something and have an advantage in a sector that they haven't yet figured out, right? That they haven't yet figured out. And that's why I talk about it all the time. It's I'm no expert in cryptocurrency, but it's important to start learning about it because, they haven't figured out that sector yet. And so that gives you an opportunity to actually be ahead of the big guys. Right? Ahead of the big guys. Quitting while you're ahead is not the same as quitting and 2388. I absolutely agree. Take your gains, man. You made 113K on GME the first round, but lost it in this correction. Juan Sevilla, I'm so sorry. 113K, my man. My man Juan is playing some big games. That's awesome, man. Idenozo, market based on Elon tweets. Yep, absolutely. old Elon can change, and that's what I'm saying too. Like, meme energy is a real thing. Elon will say the name of one stock or Dogecoin or whatever the hell, and it will go up. It will go up. Why? Because people follow the leader and they want to just follow the leader and just say, Elon say do something, I do something. When Cathie Wood's another good example. Cathie Wood is the leader of a investment group called ARK Investments, right? ARK. And they have a lot of investment funds that have done really well over the past year because they're mostly focused on forward tech thinking stuff, electric vehicle stocks, biotechnology, genomics, all that kind of stuff. So that's what they're mostly focused on. And, anytime Cathie Wood buys a stock, people are like, I follow Cathie, I love Cathie, I love Elon, and they'll just throw their money after them, right? For better or for worse, that's what happens. So you have to know these trends and understand these trends so we can get ahead. One of my friends here, user369, I'm not sure, user369, what your real name is, but you said, if not talking about Afria, please Doge. You got 2150 shares. So we can talk both about Doge and Afria. Where do I see Bitcoin in 5 years? Idenozo. I don't know, Idenozo, but definitely higher than it is today. There's no doubt, I'll answer that question real quick, and then I'll get to the question about Afria and Dogecoin. I can answer that real quick. It's almost without a doubt going to be higher than it is today, barring some sort of technological super crash that Bitcoin is hacked and it goes to zero. And that's always the risk, right? Theoretically, it could, but it hasn't happened over the last 10 years, so I think it's unlikely, right? Anyway, the point is to say that based on pure supply and demand alone, we're at 25% adoption for Bitcoin in the United States. 25% adoption for cryptocurrency in the United States. Only 25% of Americans own cryptocurrency, right? And even less in other parts of the world, right? 5 years from now, as more young people who are exposed to crypto get older, right? And have money. And the older people at the top who don't buy crypto die and pass on money to their younger generations when they pass on their inheritance. There's going to be more money that's able to go into cryptocurrency. That's going to drive it up. It's supply and demand, purely and simple. I don't have any reasonable idea of what a price prediction will be, but I'm fairly certain it's going to be higher than it is now, especially because we have institutional people coming in behind it. Tesla buying $1 billion, right? MicroStrategy buying hundreds of millions of dollars. Square and PayPal and potentially MasterCard buying into Bitcoin. These are all these things going to be helping out the price. I think it's irresponsible to give a price target, but I am like so confident that it's going to be higher than it is today 5 years from now, especially. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like supply and demand alone. Think about it, right? You're a newbie to Bitcoin Party Mama? Absolutely. Where do you buy it? Coinbase.com is probably the easiest way to get there, right? Just go to Coinbase.com. You have to put in your identification and verify, and then they'll give you $5 of free Bitcoin once you verify your account, and you don't even have to throw more money in there. You can just watch that money go up and down and just get exposed to it. And then they also allow you to take free quizzes and stuff on Coinbase. It's the easiest way. They're not the best site out there for when you get more advanced because their fees are higher than other people, but it is the easiest to use, right? And the important thing is getting started here. It is the easiest thing to use. Go sign up on Coinbase.com. It's the easiest thing to use. Once you get more knowledge, you can switch to another thing. Same with Ethereum, NK Allison. I absolutely think so the same way. Well, Ethereum is a little bit more sketchy because Ethereum may have other competitors like Cardano, like Polkadot trying to compete against it. Is $1 for coin, Party Mama? Yeah, you give US dollars to buy the coin. But those other competitors against Ethereum might have more headwinds against Ethereum, but I don't see Ethereum being gone in 5 years either. I don't see Ethereum being gone in 5 years either. Mermaid Kisses 369. Hode scored 96% on his audit, brought on Dr. Oliver as their advisor. Oh my gosh, y'all were telling me about Hode. I'm trying to look into it. I'm trying to look into it. Anyway, I want to go back to my friend, user 369, who wanted to know about Afri and Dogecoin. I promised I would talk about it. And I'm going to. What does currency represent, Brad46? I'm not sure. So let me see what Afria is right now. So to explain what was happening with Afria and Tilray over the past couple of months, Afria and Tilray have had a huge run up in price over the past few months. Ooh, Afria has not been doing well. That's very sad. Very, very sad. Um, Afria and Tilray have been having a huge price run over the past few months, and this is because of a couple reasons, right? And we're going back to the future. With ETH to buy right now, is it at like 1,600? It's pretty cheap. It's fairly cheap. I mean, like you can see. I mean, if you wanted like go in on short trades, like at 1,600, at some point in the near future, it's probably going to go back up to 1,800 again or so, right? Like it's not a bad buy. I would say if to get into actually buying Bitcoin and Ethereum stuff, the best thing to do is actually just dollar cost average it and not try to time the market because you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna go crazy. Drop to 1,500 bucks. Oh wow. So Afria and Tilray, let's talk about it. So Afria is, why is it showing me in Canadian dollars? I don't want Canadian dollars. So Afria and Tilray were going up about a couple months ago at the beginning of February. Why? And this is the history, and this is how you learn about how these stock prices have huge movements. After the GameStop stuff, GameStop, AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, right? There were the top 5 big push stocks, right? That really rallied at the end of January and the beginning of February. Those were the big meme stocks of the year. 2 weeks later, by mid-February, those stocks had fallen out of favor and then had switched to marijuana stocks. So you saw stocks like Afria and Tilray and what was it? That OGI, right? And all those stocks, you saw those stocks pump, right? And what was the reason for those stocks to pump? The reason those stocks pumped, obviously, is because people were expecting the Biden administration eventually to legalize marijuana. And so, if, the Biden administration legalized marijuana weed stocks are going to be doing well. Everyone is an economist now. Brad 46202. Yeah, everyone's trying to, everyone thinks they know everything. Me included, obviously. But that's what people were trying to predict, right? That's what people were thinking, that, okay, Biden administration is going to legalize marijuana. Therefore, right, my stuff is going to go up. Okay, so that's why they initially pushed. So the thing about Afria and Tilray is that and all the other marijuana stocks is that they way overran where they're supposed to be, right? They way overran where they were supposed to be because here's the thing. It's like everyone's like, oh, Biden administration might legalize marijuana. Great. But guess what? There was already a pump right after the election in all these marijuana stocks. There was already a pump right after the election. So that price action based off marijuana stuff actually had already pretty much happened. And what happened in mid-February was less that, okay, people are all of a sudden like, Biden's going to legalize marijuana, and more it was, okay, we ran out of stuff to do on GameStop. Let's push marijuana and use the justification that Biden's going to legalize marijuana to put into it, right? That's what people are saying, right? Like, remember, this is how human beings operate. We make an emotional decision first. Hey, I want to buy into a new hot stock. Oh, marijuana's a good one. Let's buy into marijuana stocks. And then people are like, well, I should probably come up with a justification for why I did that. And they're like, oh, Biden's going to legalize marijuana. Great. That's the thesis, right? But we make a lot of times our decisions. You're out of here, no thought, just feelings, Brad 46202. See you, Brad. Nice to see you, my friend. So a lot of times people make their decisions based off of emotions first, and they back it up with facts after that, right? So that's the difficulty. That's the difficulty of trying to understand what's going on with marijuana there, right? Long term, should it be good? I'm not sure. So here's the difficulty with a lot of these marijuana stocks. There's one thing, is that mostly, these are mostly in Canada. A lot of these stocks like Afria and Tilray, mostly in Canada. And the second thing about Afria and Tilray, and obviously US legalization is not necessarily going to benefit them a huge amount. The second thing about Afria and Tilray is that Afria and Tilray were going to have a merger, and that people were trying to make a lot of money on the Afria-Tilray merger, right? And because Afria was trading way lower than Tilray, right? I'm playing on emotions, Brad 462. How am I playing on emotions, Brad? No, I'm actually very curious. If you think that I'm not trying to push people into to buying emotional meme decisions. That's pretty much the opposite of what I'm trying to do, right? Like watching you multitasking. I'm trying to do my best here. Okay, Afria's 17, Tilray's 22. So what the Afri and Tilray merger, what's going to happen there is that Afri is actually buying Tilray in what is known as a reverse merger. Okay, and in this reverse merger, for every share of Afri you have, you're going to have 0.83 shares of Tilray. Okay, for every share of Afri you have, you're going to have 0.83 shares of Tilray. So there was a point where Tilray was trading super high. It was trading at like what, 35 bucks or so. Like it hit $63. Okay, it hit a huge amount, right? And that's what I was saying. Mid-February, when people were peaking in their emotions on Tilray, right? And people were like, "Oh my gosh, Afria is gonna, merge with Tilray. For every share of Tilray for every share of Afria that I own, I'm gonna get 0.83 shares of Tilray." And what had happened was that, like, at that same time, you could buy into Afria for like 28 bucks. So let's do the math, right? 0.83 times 60 is like 48 or so, and a share of Afria was $30, right? And so there's a price discrepancy there. If every share of Afria I own is going to be 0.83 shares of Tilray, and Tilray's at 60, and Afria's at what, 30, then, and it's going to end up being 48, right? If people are going to be at 48, right, then that's a difference of $18, and that people were trying to make the money based off that difference there, right? People were trying to make the money based off that difference. So that's what was going on, right? That's what was going on. Brad462, you said people are buying on emotion, and you're playing that. You're welcome to have your own opinion, my friend, but I really do not think that I'm pushing people to buy stocks off emotion. And if you think so, I'm sorry. I am sorry that you maybe have perceived it that way. But that is pretty much the last thing that I try to do here. That I try to actually encourage people not to do that, right? I'm pretty much telling people not to do that all the time. But you're welcome to have your own opinion. I do appreciate the feedback. Anyway, so that was the reason why you saw a lot of videos on TikTok, especially saying that, you said that a lot of videos on TikTok that you were saying, oh, you guys need to be buying Afria right now. You need to be buying Afria right now. And people were saying, buy Afria right now, right? But the problem is that, like, that was never going to sustain, right? You have to, when we're talking about buying the rumors, sell the news, right? Well, hey, y'all, no hate on Brad. No hate on my boy Brad. It's okay. It's totally okay. People can disagree with me. It's fine. Like, I don't want any hate on him. Really, absolutely not. Like, it's okay. Hate, you can dislike me. It's okay. I'm not gonna get offended. But it's okay. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say here is that people at that time, a month and a half ago, you can go on TikTok, you can go on YouTube, you can see all the people trying to pump Afria, say you're gonna make this margin. You're gonna make this margin. The thing is, you're only gonna make Sharon McAllister, hey there, hello. You're gonna nice to see you, Sharon McAllister. You're only gonna make this money, again, as we said, when the deal closes. When we're talking about buying the rumor, selling the news, people are like, oh, you're gonna make so much money when the deal closes. Well, guess what? The deal didn't close, and both of these stocks ended up falling, right? Both of these stocks ended up falling, and people lost a lot of money because they were trying to buy the rumor. They were trying to, they were buying essentially the news and waiting for the deal to close, and then they lost money out on that, right? And that's what the danger was happening with Afria and Tilray, right? That's what was happening there. And like I've been encouraging people to like be careful of going into these things, like what happened with CCIV, right? Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm bleeding. Help. We're having a lot of problems. It's because I'm talking too much. I'm talking too loud. I think I'm breathing through my nose. Holy crap. Anyway, feels bad. I need to get like a napkin or something. If it keeps bleeding. Anyway, the point of being said is that before a deal closes like that, you're assuming a lot of risk. You're assuming a lot of risk because something's never final until it's final, right? I'm a real estate guy. I write a lot of contracts. We can have a verbal deal to have something done, like an Avria Tilray merger or a CCIV merging with Lucid, and it might not actually happen. So that's what happened with these stocks. It's like people had pumped it up and pumped it up and pumped it up, and then ended up being that they fell and corrected a lot. So my friend who is in Afria, who potentially is down a lot of money, I think it's going to be. These are one of the stocks that I think that the momentum is not going to bring it back. You know, sweetie, I have blood on my hand. I know, but I'm here for the camera. I'm here for the camera. If I leave, everyone's gonna leave, right? If I leave, everyone's gonna leave. I know. Put myself first. I know. I'll take care of it in just a second. I need to finish my train of thought before I lose my train of thought, right? Anyway, the train of thought is to say that, before a deal closes, there's always a lot of risk. So, and that's why we lost a lot of money, probably potentially for people who bought into Afria, thinking that they're going to make a margin spread on Tilray. Because right now, there is no current margin spread. There is no current margin between the two things, right? Afria is pretty much trading at 0.83 percentage points of Tilray, right? 0.83 or 83% rather of Tilray. So I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of boost there again from Mimo Momentum Energy. Depending on how far you are down, you might want to consider getting out, but it might not also fall that much further. We might have reached a new baseline, so it doesn't really make any sense to sell now either. So that's kind of what you're going to have to determine for yourself, whether or not to get out. And there always is the chance that you're going to get resurrected by other people making meme and momentum plays, but I think it's much less likely for these stocks. Okay, y'all are right. I'm gonna go blow my nose. Cutie cute. I can chill for a minute or two. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna go take care of my nosebleed. I have blood coming out of my nose, so I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, I keep bleeding. I don't know if I'm gonna have to. Did it stop? Did it stop? I think it stopped. Okay, hold on. I was gonna say I have to call it, but I think it stopped. Hold on. Okay, we're here. We're here. We're here. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I haven't had a nosebleed like that for a long time. I haven't had a nosebleed for a long time. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, is it because you have like a vitamin deficiency or something? Um, have a vitamin deficiency? I don't know. I don't know. EIQSS, if anyone says bad about him, I'm gonna tell, oh, thank you. Check out the back of that chair, McShaken. Yeah, that chair looks good. I appreciate y'all sticking sticking around. Let me try to read the rest of these comments. Who's gonna start singing? Oh, did y'all like the music? I always cool Latin beats. Look, I put on some Mark Anthony. I used to do Latin dance in college, salsa dancing, bachata, all that kind of stuff. Dry air. Dry air. Sorry if you did that. No, you didn't do that, Brad. No, absolutely. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. And as I said, people disagree with me all the time, but I was really just more concerned that I was giving off a bad vibe. That I do not want to communicate that I'm trying to like manipulate people's emotions. And I think usually I'm pretty clear on that. So I do appreciate the feedback on that. I thought they were caused because of the heat. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. You mean bachata, Marvin? Adki? Yes, I did bachata, I did salsa, I did cha-cha, I did cumbia, did kazomba. I've done it all. Reggaeton, I've done it all. So, you know, one of these days y'all are gonna see my dance videos. I'll put them up on my channel. So anyway. Back to work, right? What were we saying? I totally forget. We want to see some dance Caltex tech. I have some videos. I can put some videos on my channel and clip some videos together. No live performances yet. I'm not intoxicated enough to get on live performance on TikTok yet. Wasn't getting bad vibes, just commenting. Okay, perfect, Brad. Thank you. Dan, y'all are gonna bully me. Not yet. Look, maybe when I get some of my friends together and like we can go out and dancing again or something, like I'll record it, I'll put it up here. Anyway, y'all aren't here to like to hear me talk about dance. I want to like provide something of value to you guys. Anyway, so happy to talk about any topic. I really kind of lost track. So cool. Oh, thank you, Up River Studios. Lost track of where I was, right? Lost track of where I was. So if anybody has some topics to talk about, then I'm all ears. Beer car, thank you for the fire. I appreciate you, my friend, and I appreciate everyone. Algorand, slow trolling. I'm still trying to look into Algorand. Yeah, I'm still trying to look. I said it takes me a while. I think I'm gonna try to learn about Matic Polygon this week, and I will get back to it. Back to business, I guess. Caltex Tech. I can talk about whatever you all want, right? I don't have to talk about business, but I thought that's why people were here. If y'all are here to like just pick my brain about anything, I can talk about anything all day. You were talking about pumps and dumps, and when is this correction going to end? That's right. So anyway, the final thoughts there, and JYM 1966 CSCIV. So those are two topics there. Those are two topics. Okay, perfect. Is Sundial going to go up again, EIQSS? I think not. The problem, okay, here's the thing. Here's what let's talk about Sundial. Let's talk about Sundial real quick, and then we also about these pumps and dumps and all this kind of stuff, and the danger of buying the rumors, selling the news, and being in the momentum place, right? What I was saying this a couple months ago when people were first talking to me about Sundial. I'm like, y'all, of all the marijuana companies, Sundial was probably like one of the weakest ones. Sundial was one of the companies in the marijuana companies that was at risk of being delisted. And what being delisted means is that they were about to be kicked off the stock exchange, right? They were literally about to be kicked off the NASDAQ because their price was under $1. Right? Am I a landlord, beer car? Yes, I do own property. So they were literally about to kick. They were literally about to kick Sundial off of the NASDAQ. And why? That's because no one wanted Sundial. Because Sundial had done a couple shady things in the past in terms of they would always take advantage of every time their stock went up to do a stock split or issued more stock, and that diluted shareholder equity. And when a company does that, when a company says, I'm going to issue more stock, a lot of times, and we have to understand why, right? A lot of times the price falls, right? And the price falls because more supply, right? Gabby Loan says, hi friend. Hello, Gabby Loans. I appreciate the presence. Oh, thank you so much. A lot of times the price falls, right? Because we have more supply and the same amount of demand, so obviously the price is going to fall, right? So when they issue more stock. So Sundial is a company that have been doing this over and over again, taking advantage of its investors, and right? That's not very good on the management level. The second thing about Sundial is that they were always an unprofitable company, and they switched their business model. They pivoted their business model recently to go from a wholesaling business. And what wholesaling is means that they're the guys distributing to all the stores to direct retail. That means they're the guys who own the store. And that's a much smaller margin business. Well, wholesale is a smaller margin business in terms of you don't necessarily make a lot of money, but you have a lot of volume, right? Retail is also a small margin business, but you have a lot less volume, right? You have a lot less volume. So that's what has happened a lot of time with Sundial. And guess what just happened, right? They literally announced a couple days ago, and this is why Sundial has fallen again. They announced a couple days ago that they were likely to issue more shares, right? And this is what I was trying to tell people. It's like, y'all, if you want to buy in marijuana because you like the long-term trend, you think it's going to be doing well, it's going to be doing well into the future, Sundial is probably the weakest stock to be getting into because it has a history of doing things that screw over its investors, right? Screwing over its investors, and I do not want you to get screwed over. So that's why I've been been a bear on Sundial, kind of in opposition to a lot of the other people. So I said, if you guys want the bull thesis on Sundial, there's 100 other guys on YouTube trying to say, buy the stock, buy the stock, buy the stock, right? On TikTok saying, buy the stock, buy Sundial, buy Sundial, buy Sundial. But you have to understand, have they told you that they, diluted the investor shares all these times? Or have they told you about the fact they were an unprofitable business? How do I find you on YouTube? It's in my profile. It's at Gen Z Rebuilds on YouTube. It's my YouTube channel. And so you saved you from buying that POS, Gabriel D. Hey, there we go, right? I've been talking about it. That's what's been happening with Sundial. So, watch the pumps, watch people who try to say buy XYZ stock, right? Thank you. You're welcome, I'm melting. And Dave Live, Andy, you're the go. No, you're the light. You're the go, my friend. Or is that Dobby Live? You're the go, Dobby Live. I appreciate you. Dobby from college. Yo, Dobby, what is up? Yo, my friend, Dobby Live in the chat here is my friend from college. We went to Vanderbilt together, so appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Hey, that's awesome. Yo, hit me up. Are you coming back for graduation? We need to talk. We need to talk. So anyway, what was I gonna say? What was I saying? I was excited. That's my boy Dobby. What were you doing with your Tesla, Neo, and CCIV? All of them are bleeding. Gabby Loans. Okay. Yeah, you're trying to. Yeah. Hit me up, bro. I don't remember if you still have my phone number, but let's hit me up. Vanderbilt Fancy? Yeah, look. I was at Vandy. Look. Vandy, essentially, I got a very good scholarship to Vandy, so I could not afford Vandy on my own. Believe me, I was not one of the kids who paid $70,000 to go to Vanderbilt University. No. We had a very, very good scholarship, and I was very thankful to be able to go, because otherwise, I would not have been able close to afford it, and I was in state, right? I was born and raised in Nashville, made in Nashville, right? So helped me out a lot. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, what are you doing with your Tesla, Neo, and CCIV, Gabby Loans? Yeah, they are bleeding. They're bleeding really hard right now. And it's because of all the things we've been saying before, Gabby Loans, about the 10-year treasury yield, and there's a rotation into cyclical stocks, and there's been a sell-off on tech stocks a lot of the time. That's why they've been down so much, right? And potentially they ran up too hard, too fast, and that's why we have seen such a major correction. But here's the thing. It's like, I don't want you to be selling these at a loss unless, when you buy stock, oh my gosh. When you buy a stock, right? When you buy a stock, or buy a crypto like Ethereum, right? When you buy a stock or you buy something, this is why I say you want to buy into it for long term, right? Because even if there's ups and downs, price fluctuations in between, as long as you think the company is going to be doing better, years from now versus now, then that's a good place to buy, right? So what, now, Gabby, you're down on those stocks, right? You're down on Tesla, you're down on Neon, you're down on CCIV. I mean, unless you think that these companies are going to fall more and like fall to the ground and never recover, and their companies are going to go bankrupt or something like that, then if you do think that's going to happen, that's when you sell, right? But otherwise, if you're buying for the long-term play, you should almost never sell at a loss, right? You should almost never sell at a loss, because when you are selling at a loss, you lose all your potential chance to gain back in the long term anyway, right? That's when we make our money, right? Is over a period of time. Like we've been doing it really good, right? We've been making it out like bandits, like and this is what I've been saying for a long time. We've been in like the greatest bull market, 1 year bull market, and Gabby Loans, like I don't think it's a terrible time to buy these tech stocks right now, because as I've been saying too, I do think based off the state of our economy that we're not necessarily going to have a major correction, because as long as the economy does better, we're gonna see, it sells out 5%, 10%, but it's not gonna like crash 50%, because if the stock market crashes 50% when people are saying, the economy is going higher, 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 which is what they are saying, right? If that is what they're saying, that the economy is going higher, 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 you're going to see a lot of people who are going to throw money in if the stock market does correct any substantial amount, and that if you are able to hold on, right? If you're able to hold on, then you can continue. Michael Buddy disagrees. Well, here's the thing. And here's the thing that is still not solved, right? And I've talked about this a couple times too. And right? If you're able to hold on, then you can continue. Michael Buddy disagrees. Well, here's the thing. And here's the thing that is still not solved, right? And I've talked about this a couple times too. And right? If you're able to hold on, then you can continue. Michael Buddy disagrees. Well, here's the thing. And here's the thing that is still not solved, right? And I've talked about this a couple times too. And right? If you're able to hold on, then you can continue. Michael Buddy disagrees.